Welcome to Around the Kinky Campfire podcast. This is your host, the Cuddle Gigolo, aka El Comidon, aka Mango Boogies, but also known officially as H. Julius, your entertainment creative. I'm here with Miss Rue, our education guru, and our goal in this podcast is to destigmatize the taboo topics of kink, non-monogamy, and BDSM. We like to educate through awareness and with our experiences, and we are not certified professionals as of yet. So our non-judgmental topics, with a dash of facts, are to be taken mostly as entertainment and with, some slice of life anecdotal stories. Your opinions, lifestyles, and or way of thinking may not be in alignment with ours, but your opinion, lifestyle, way of thinking is also okay as well. And the fact that you have an opinion is valid. We're not here to change your minds. We are here just to provide a different point of view. Please join us every second and fourth Thursdays of every month, and our episodes are uploaded to all major platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, etc., etc. Please look forward to this coming episode, as we will start shortly, and make sure to especially pay attention to our ASR Minute, which will start very soon. Welcome back, everybody. This is your host. Could come up with a weird name, but it's, regular El Comino, the Cuddle Gigolo, Taco Knuckle, Sir McFluffy Pants, Colonel McBee, General Major McBee, whatever it was. But you can officially call me Julius H. Julius, his happiness. Julius here with another Pillow Fort session for you, and officially this is Around the Kinky Campfire. The Pillow Fort sessions are a little short half-hour sessions. I like to specifically dig down into a topic and go from there, and then it's usually something that just was on my mind and I wanted to talk about it more, but we are here now. And I'm going to talk about a specific topic. And that topic is one of the things that I personally identify with. It's probably my number one identity out of everything. It's something that perforates, overflows, crisscrosses, Venn diagram, mixes in with pretty much everything I do, everything I am. You could say it's just like one of my cultures. I think I'm going to do a series here of my different identities, especially the ones that just kind of are always there, no matter what I'm in, what headspace I'm in, what community I'm in, what house. I don't even know place specifically, but everybody knows it for the most part. If they know anything about me. And y'all already know that, big geek, big into kink and BDSM, and big poly person, but this one is definitely deep down ancestrally within me, and that is primal. Primalism, primal practices, primal play, all of that stuff. I'm 100% primal. If anybody knows me or even has any kind of interaction with me on that kind of level, they know primal is going to come out somewhere, and it's going to be in pretty much every scene that I'm in, every private session that I am, all those different things. And that's a topic that, even with my research, was very hard to dig down into, because people ask all the time, what exactly is primal? What does it mean to you? Because they see it on profile or an about me section related to me. And, I always know what it is for myself, but like in general, like how do you figure out if you're primal or not? And y'all know, campsters, that I'm a big Redditor, and I am also on the Primal Reddit. And it's kind of interesting because if you know anything about Reddit and any of the subreddits, there's always that question: am I this? Am I demisexual? How do I know I'm polyamorous? How do I know if I'm okay with non-monogamy? My partner wants to do this, and how do I help them? How do I have this relationship with this person? And
as always, you'll will see later on with all the different identities that I associate with it, this question is always going to come up. And it's the same thing in the Primal subreddit, because there's not, I don't know any other. Man, it's really tough for me to even think now because I keep bringing up Reddit all the time, and it's like, where else can people ask these questions and find a community of people that know an answer? It doesn't even have to be right. It's just, personal experience is especially, I would have to say, well, experience versus like intellectual training. I mean, I can't say which one's better or worse. I just know for me, I appreciate experiences. I will live through people's experiences because I've said it multiple times before. For example, I don't want to have kids, but I'm from a community where there's people, pregnant people in my class in high school. I lived through those people's experience. That's why I was like, I just know from experience, I don't want to deal with that. So anything I learned throughout my life, I do my research, and one of those things is definitely digging down into somebody's experiences. And from the experiences that I see from the people that I've come across that were primal, and I wasn't always a Redditor. Reddit kind of just confirmed a lot of things for me, but I knew I was primal before even that. All the experiences I came across was primal is definitely something that permeates within me, and it's like, oh, this is the reason why I do those things and like all those things. Very food motivated. If y'all don't know, Julius likes his food and his cookies. You can tempt me in with a pie. I will go down the little brick road if you put the little gummies out there. Hansel and Gretel aren't the only ones that got tempted to the house and probably thrown in the oven and eaten. That'd be me. I'd crawl right in that oven if there's a good apple crumb cake in there or some cookies and cream ice cream. Yeah, that's it right there. Julius loves his sweets. Okay, so I'm going to try, and of course I will willingly and enthusiastically talk about this subject over and over again. So for now, early 2024, trying to define exactly what primal is, and of course is very subjective, but as for what I've seen in general from the research I found, I try to do statistically, factually, as much as I can, what primal exactly is for those people that don't know and are questioning, maybe I'm this. Okay, so basically, if you identify as primal, you are more than likely human, and you have some kind of animalistic tendencies. Now, the official definition that I found is that primal is basically feelings that are like the feelings of animals and that seem to come from a part of human nature that existed since ancient times. That is very, very vague. So what the heck does that even mean? I'm going to try to take the next 30 minutes or so to hopefully explain what that definition meant. I saw that definition, and I went to a few sites, and of course I'm not going to be done researching this. I just kind of did a little stopping point for right now. Because it was like I'm going nowhere really quickly. So I was on that treadmill, and I was just running really fast and not going anywhere. So let's see here. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see. So we're definitely a kinky BDSM-minded podcast. So the kink part of the primal play thing is it involves becoming animalistic during sex. So sex is not just sex. I know for me, especially, it is more mating. So I should say mating. There's a mating aspect of sex for primal people like myself. I don't even know how to explain that for people that don't understand, but it's definitely a mating ritual. Even if if you're somebody like me that doesn't want to have kids, so no, the procreation part of the mating is not happening. It's like fake faux mating. That part of it, but there's a difference between sex and mating. There, if you know what I'm talking about, I don't know how to explain that one. So this is why this whole subject is tough. And the mating sex can include scratching, biting, manhandling, and animalistic noises like growling. And then usually there's primal hunters and or prey. So with most of the slash roles that we have in the community, of course, you can always switch back and forth if you want to, or you can stay to one side of the slash that you identify with. So that's definitely one of the roles that's out there, and our great website, All hail the Fet Life. That is one of the ones that's been on there the longest time. I don't know if anybody's been on there in the last year or so, but they've added a lot of different roles. Primal Prey and Primal Hunter was one of them that was on there for the longest time. So it's one of the old school quote unquote ones. So kink is a little bit easier to explain. So yeah, there's biting and scratching and stuff like that, and people, manhandling. So that's non-gender specific. That's just man as like human person. If you like the rougher sex, you've probably been manhandled at some point in the middle of that, and that's a little bit different than the rougher sex. This is very much prone position, mounting, those kind of things. So mounting, mating, prone, animalistic, and I would argue that it doesn't just have to be doggy style, because of course animals in nature, that's pretty much all they can do. Four-legged animals, very much the primal animalistic part of it. But yeah, you can do it in like missionary inside and everything like that. There's a lot of different ways to mount somebody. Oh, trust me, I like them all. So yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, you can do it from the bottom too. Just so campsters, you have a question? Kinky campsters at IG, and also around the Kinky Campfire at Yahoo. Send your questions. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways, and for sure the people on the Primal Reddit, they know. Let's see here. Another definition uses spiritual or metaphorical connection to an animal or other entity to express their primal instincts, likens their worldview to that of their animal/entity. Okay, so this is where the worlds collide, because if you into like pet play, and the the furry community, you kind of take it to a different level rather than just kind of doing the play part of it. You kind of believe. You resonate with the animal. Like I'm definitely one of the humans with wolf tendencies. So the pack mentality, the alpha, the beta, and the sigma, all that stuff. Yeah, I very much relate to that. So I fully believe there's like a wolf within me, like for real. If you see my group associations, there's a group on FetLife that has that. We really believe we're a wolf in sheep's clothing, human skin. I'm definitely one of those people, and like I was an avid Animal Planet watcher. So any show where somebody was doing some kind of training, animal, dog, cat, whatever. Yep, definitely. All that stuff. Definitely, yeah. Watch a couple of those shows, and I'm ready to go. This is you running naked in the woods, getting chased down, mounted, all that stuff. Definitely right up Julius's alley, all that. And I didn't understand what was going on until I came into Primal. So let's see. Here we go. Another definition: someone who enjoys getting into a primal state of being or mind, where a person tends to behave in rough or animalistic ways, desire or preference for sexual activity that allows the participants to connect with their most animalistic or primal selves. Style of BDSM that focuses on raw feelings and actions that are evoked by natural impulses and urges. So that's where the kink goes into the BDSM aspect, because you have raw feelings and actions. So that's definitely more into the primal, as in like an anthropological standpoint. You're going back to your pre-Homo sapien natural ways things. You're going to go catch the person, bonk them over the head, and drag them back to the cave, that kind of thing. There's people that like to give and receive that. Pursuit, take down, and capture is that is definitely one of the plays that drifts over into the primal thing. You can plan that out and do it consensually and safely, campsters. There are scenes I've seen that. Getting chased into the woods and dragged back to the tent. That's a thing that I'm not just saying primals can do it, but that's definitely one of the things you happens when you're doing a primal hunt. I tell you that, and camping trip and all that. So yeah, that's in there. And before we go, okay, we kind of went over the definitions. I'm kind of going over them kind of quickly because they're very unrelatable unless you know like experientially what I'm talking about. If you're a newbie to this particular kink, lifestyle, whatever it is, identity, personality trait, there, it's hard to explain. So I'm going to give some examples. Before I do, I forgot all the business stuff, so I'll just do it right now. We are around the kinky campfire right now. It's just Julius here with the Pillow Fort sessions. So the regular group episodes will come out every second and fourth Thursdays of the month, most of the time. And I'll do these Pillow Fort sessions in between Thursdays when I get to do them. This is officially the first one of 2024. Hopefully I will start doing them more often. This is my chance to practice for classes I'd like to teach, along with the specific digging down in very specific topics. I like to be very factual and statistical with my talks here. Would like to do more research, especially on stuff like this. But there's not a lot of tests and surveys and stuff for the Primal. But I would like to know that, and hopefully I'll delve deeper into that in a later episode. Actually, I should be drinking something right now, but I'm not. Shame on me. I will correct that in the next official Around the Kinky Campfire episode. But this time I'm just keeping it dry while I talk about this. I think the identities, especially the ones that I identify with more, I'm definitely going to probably be not drinking as much because I'm already excited to talk about this kind of things. And as I was writing up this Primal cliff notes here, I was like, oh man, I'm ready to talk about this. This will get me going because the solo sessions are a little bit harder than the normal ones when I'm volleying back on and off with somebody else. So trying to get into the mood of it, and also developing of the classes. I got to get out there and get the thing done. So sticking with stuff that I personally identify with is a little bit easier, but no drinking on this one. But probably bring it back. So I apologize to the fans that enjoy the ASMR 30 seconds. Don't worry, it's only a little blip on the radar. Nothing to worry about. Just keep moving along, and then it'll be back before you know it. Okay, so we officially did the explanation. We did a couple CATs, or CTAs, I should say, and we got the intro in there. So let's talk about types of play, some of the specific roles, and then some technicalities or talking points at the end. Hopefully you'll consider what I'm thinking here, because I'm definitely want to get philosophical with some of these things. If we're talking about identities, like where do they come from, that type of thing. So I talked about some types of play already. So you have scratching, biting, animalistic noises. What else did I say? Manhandling, person handling, whatever. And then also you can do like hair pulling, grunts, growling, I already said. Wrestling is a big thing. Pinning and mounting is a big thing. So it's not so much an ownership thing. So it's not like a DS type deal. So I don't even know how you would do power exchange with that, because in power exchange, that's like you're giving up control. With Primal, it's a little bit different because you're taking control. It's still consensual, which is strange, but it's a wrestling match. So the prey is trying to quote unquote get away. So it's not quite rape play. If you see animals wrestling, or if you own a pet, the cat or a dog or something, you see how they play. There's somebody on top and someone on bottom, and there's a submission thing going on. So it's submitting in the Animal Planet, like the Animal Planet way, versus the BDSM dynamic way. I feel like there's a more how do you say that? There's a more conscious thing, like, oh, I have a dominant and I've chosen to submit to them, versus this person physically overpowered me and they're on top of me now. But it doesn't have to be somebody that's actually bigger than you. It's a personality trait. So that's the part that's really hard to understand, because there's animalistic. This person is trying to make you submit with their quote unquote physical, not in quotes, personality dominance. So that part is really hard to explain. I'm going to have to talk about that multiple times. But yeah, it's the mating versus the sex part of it. There's a structural difference between it. So unless you actually experienced it from an actual primal person, it's hard to explain. Also, there's the people that just kind of resonate with being primal. So there's those of us that were doing these things and not even realizing it, and had these traits. Pretty much, I know for me, as far as I can remember, I'm like, oh, everybody doesn't do this. It's like people don't have sex this way. Like, what the heck is going on? I was like, oh, okay, I see what it is. So yeah, this is very interesting. As somebody that dates all many different types, and being polyamorous, like every relationship is not going to be the same. So sometimes it's just going to be a straight DS dynamic. Some is going to be MS dynamic. Some is going to be more primal than the others. And some people just like to, or just end up being just play partners with no sexual aspect in there. It scales for partners. And for me, I don't need to be with somebody that attaches themselves to a specific role, especially being a switch. The demisexual part, and I'll talk about that as well, because apparently the spectrum is very popular nowadays. Asexuality in general is becoming more and more common. I just know I've seen like podcasts and videos on asexual stuff from non-ace people trying to talk about it, and it's like interesting. Okay, so this is what kind of inspired me to have this discussion about identities, and demisexuality is going to be one of those things. So for me, it's the demisexual part, but then when we actually get down to business, it's the primal part that comes out. If I have a partner that I'm attached to, then it's going to be very much, I'm going to pursue you. And in very rare cases, allow somebody to pursue me. Okay, so we talked about the types of play, pinning, mounting, manhandling, and then also the hunt, and I said the pursuit, takedown, and capture. So that's pretty much how courting, quote unquote, dating is. It's a hunt. As somebody that permeates the primal part of it, when I'm out, I was about to say the PUA sarging thing. When I'm out relaxing at a bar or club or something like that, for me, that like if I'm talking to people and I see somebody that's attractive, that's a hunt going on. So it's hard for me to like reel that back. And I just recently realized that I kind of do that. When I'm out, like it's a hunt going on. It's like not everybody consented to this, so I should probably reel this back in, and then just try to be social, because on a regular basis, it happens. It's not regular. I don't want to see like I'm out there slanging my dick all over the place, but I find partners that like they understand the primal thing. Like I'm going to try to devouring. That's another thing too. It's not even like a cannibalistic type thing. It's like yes, mouth stuff, biting and sucking and licking and all that stuff is a thing with primal, but it's not like I'm trying to consume them. I forgot the people that like to be, there's the philia where people like to be ingested or swallowed. It's not that. It's more like you're trying to press your body into the other person. That's the devouring. That's kind of is. You're trying to like absorb them through osmosis. That's more what it is. I hope everybody understands what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure the primals understand it as well. You're not trying to eat the person. You're trying to devour them through the skin, like smashing into them multiple times until you're like one being. That's the devouring part of it. So yeah, when I go out, I'm trying to devour somebody. If I see somebody that I find attractive, and then I ask them a bunch of questions like an interview. Why are you doing the things you do? Why did you wear those shoes? And yeah, that's the demisexual part coming out. But once that's all clear and I'm good to go there, it's like, I'm going to hunt you and take you. Oh man, I came across this next part. So we've already done types of play. So now I am talking about roles. And there's a lot more roles than I actually thought there were, because I thought it was just predator, hunter, and prey, but there are a little bit more. And I say a lot there's only like, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, like 8. 8 other roles associated with the primal stuff, and then y'all let me know if you agree or disagree with it, and we can discuss further. I'm not really here to change your mind. I'm just letting you know that these are a thing. So the main ones: predatory, hunter. So they kind of went away. If people that have been primal for a while know anything, then the roles. Well, I should say just. an alternative lifestyle all the time. Like we don't say sapiosexual anymore. And primal predator, we really don't say. It's primal hunter because you have the pedos out there. So the predator kind of got taken out. So primal hunter now, just so y'all know, more PC term, is the capturer, the attacker, the consumer, the grappler, the one doing the pursuing and capturing is usually the primal hunter. The prey is the one running away, trying to escape, and then when they get close, they fight, and they're the consumed. Oh, man. I'm getting distracted thinking about this. But yes, the prey. They're the ones that run. Don't run. If anybody knows anything about dog training, when they tell you see a dog that likes to jump, do not back away from them. This is like real life here, and it's just the same with primals. Do not back away unless you want to be chased. If you have a dog that is aggressively trying to hump you or jump on you, you move forward. Stop backing up when they do that. I don't care if the dog's bigger than you or weighs more than you are. You go into that dog. You make them submit. That's like a real life tangent that I went on. When it drives me crazy when people back up when they're scared of a dog. No, you attack that dog. You make them submit. They're just going to keep jumping and chasing after you and trying to hump you. That's a primal thing. They're trying to dominate you, and not in the DS kind of way. They're trying to dominate you and make you their bitch. That's literally what it is. Okay, so yeah, prey runs basically. And then you have an animal attachment. So people like me have a spiritual animal. Mine is the wolf. Some people, deer. You can have foxes. You can have sheep. You can have cow. Horses, ponies, dogs, cats. All those different things can go into the primal. Yes, some of it is furry play. Some of it is pet play. If you... See, that's another deep dive I need to know. But basically, if you have pet play and like furry tendencies is not quite primal. That's kind of like a role you play versus like more so your actions that you do. Because yeah, there's like mounting and stuff and wrestling with them, but it's more like the play wrestling, I guess. I don't know how to differentiate exactly how to phrase that, but yeah, there's a difference there. So you when you have a spiritual connection with an animal, that's more like you are that thing. And especially with the primal part of it, it's the alpha and the beta of it. So the dominance thing. So yeah, and then of course there's shifters. So people that have multiple animals, depending on the day, what you identify with, you can shift. Everybody's a grown adult. Hopefully you are doing all the BDSM stuff. Please remember it's 18 plus. So in America, 18 plus. Hopefully you're listening to this. This is an adult conversation. Make sure you're speaking with people that are of legal age and doing this stuff with, but everybody's an adult. You can identify with something. You get new information, you realize you're this is how this is, or you are this way like myself all this time and didn't know what it was, and like, oh, that's what it is. There's an actual name for this. And I know some people don't like labels, but I like a good jumping off point. And everybody that I hope has anything to do with this podcast kind of, is open to everybody's different opinions, but we like to be very factual and educational on this podcast, so there's a good jumping off point. So you might not agree with the labels or using labels in general, but hey, now you're aware of them. Let's see. So shifter, then you have like pups and cubs. That kind of goes more into the little aspect, regression and age play, if you would choose to include that as well. And then you have ferals, which kind of go into the loss of control. I don't know how I feel about that one, because how do you like? It's like, quote, loss of control, unquote. So I haven't really looked into that one as much, but that one's in there. That's a role. And then you have like packs and tribes, basically a group of bonded primals. You'll see that as a, I can't remember, it was orientation or something like that. No. Group affiliate, no. So you have houses and packs on FetLife. That's a thing. That's been a thing for a long time. So if you see somebody that says pack of, that's more on the primal side as far as FetLife is concerned. So that's where that comes from. That's if you see that, then you're probably dealing with a primal person, or they just have like deep family bonds with the people that they are associated with. But yeah, that has a little bit to do with it. And then you have the different roles, the alpha, beta, omega. So the alpha is the one that is the leader of the pack or relationship, whatever you want to associate yourself with. The beta is second to the alpha. So basically, they're the ones running said pack, house, whatever it is, going off of what the alpha says. And then you have the omegas. Those are the ones doing the following in the house pack, whatever. So these are just terms that I found. Please do not hold them as scripture, as absolute fact, whatever. Take what you want from them and apply them as you feel so fit to. Once again, around the Kinky Campfire, we educate through awareness. So I just want everybody to know we are putting the information out there. We do not associate ourselves with these specific facts and or opinions. We just have them, okay? We do our research. We have emotions, and I like to talk about it. So hopefully that's why you're here, not to listen to us just talk about whatever we want to like we know what we're doing. Not official. We don't have any degrees or certifications. We just live this way. And then lastly, I want to get a little bit philosophical with y'all here as we approach the 30-minute mark. Do y'all campsters believe, from your experience or what you've researched on your own, is this a born trait or is it a learned trait? Can you learn to be primal? A lot of the identities that I see on Reddit, more specifically, and then also sometimes on FetLife, people ask, am I this? Like I said at the beginning of this episode. I don't know if you can just learn how to be that. And this is my personal opinion, so, don't quote. I mean, you can quote me on this because it's my opinion, but don't take it as fact. That you kind of just are this way. I mean, you can try to be primal, just like you can try to be a dominant, but people are not going to, just because you say I'm a top or I'm a dominant, that really doesn't mean anything. You have to, show with your actions and your attitude. So yeah, that's why I wonder. For me, it's definitely a born trait. It's not an environment thing. So you're born this way, and then you discover it later. That type of thing. And also, I believe it can be applied to any lifestyle. So discuss it with me further if you feel differently. I believe all these different actions, like mating, is that's half the reason why we're here. Okay, it's the kink part. The mating is that's what it is. That's different than sex or rough sex or just fucking. It's mating. It's different. There's a whole nother category that y'all will may not have known. Well, here it is. I'm telling you now. There's another category, mating, and it also doesn't have to be physical. So there's nonverbal communication going on there. There's just like a cat, when it gets scared, its hair stands up on end. There's a kind of thing there. When you get excited, we don't have tails anymore. Apparently we used to. But yeah, just because you have a dog or a cat and it's wagging its tail doesn't mean it's happy all the time. That's, they give me anxious tail wag, or it's tucked between their legs. I believe as human beings, even without tails, you can kind of manifest that without a tail. So yeah, and it's any gender. Please remember this. This is not gender specific. So just because you have a bigger body, which is on average, you were born male, it's just statistical facts. That does not mean you are automatically the alpha. As I said, probably midway through this episode, I think, it is a personality trait. There are ways to be domineering, dominant. Well, there's a difference between dom and dominating as an alpha. There's a difference there, but just because you are smaller in body does not mean you are automatically an omega or a beta. I have no problem submitting to an alpha that is half my size. They bring it that way. And it's also could possibly be centuries old. I haven't seen anywhere where the quote unquote primal hunts began. So this could have been going on a long time. And as we know, back in the days of the Vikings and the Mongolians, they was raping and pillaging, that kind of thing. So they were doing it non-consensually. Nowadays, I will say this very generically. We do this with consent. Okay? We all know the actual reality. But here in this world of Around the Kinky Campfire, we do it with consent and we can negotiate often. So consensually, I'm all for rape play with the proper negotiation and with the prick standards. Personally responsible, informed, consensual kink. I'm all for rape play. And hey, that can primal, there's plenty of primal stuff you can do there with a consenting adult. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I could really go deep dive into the philosophical point with like modern technology dulling our instincts. But yeah, that's probably a whole nother podcast there with that whole thing. I feel like I could even talk to more vanilla crowd about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I in general believe that the use of technology, especially with the AI, man, we're losing our personal instincts here. We're just kind of letting technologies do it for us. So that's very sad as a animalistic, old school human. I don't want to say caveman instincts, but the primal hunter is still there, going out in the woods and just like chasing down a grizzly bear and taking it down with my hands. That's still in there. I feel it deep down inside. But yeah, that would be an interesting topic. I don't know. Y'all let me know. But for now, this is Julius. This has been Pillow Fort Sessions for Around the Kinky Campfire. Regular episodes are every second and fourth Thursdays of the month, most of the time. And it's available on all your modern, common podcast apps. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, yada, yada, yada. And these Pillow Fort Sessions will be in between the second and fourth Thursdays. I'd like to do them more often. Tell me what you think. We are on IG, the Instagram, at Campfire Kinksters. That's Campfire with a K. Around the Kinky Campfire with a K. But for now, this is Primal Part 1 of 252, probably. I don't know. I'll talk about this again in a few months, probably. But for now, next time you hear from me, solo-wise, Julius, it will be more on identities, and we'll see which one comes up next. Poly, demisexual, geek, something like that. But that's it. Hello.